world, turn off your television sets. Turn them off now. Turn them off right now. Turn them off and leave them off. Turn them off right in the middle of the sentence I'm speaking to you now. Turn them off.
Greetings, folks. Thanks for joining us. We are here to discuss Succession, which
I just saw the ticker. Oh my goodness. You're really pushing it. Oh my gosh. You are really driving it home. This means y'all should be watching. I mean, I know a lot of y'all listen. I even listen myself, but you should watch because you don't get antics like seeing a ticker that says on last week's episode, Succession sans Logan Roy, with Ronnie, your host, smoking on Logan Roy.
That Logan Roy pack is delightful. It just hits so different.
Oh my gosh. Thoughts? Like you might as well go ahead and just jump in there.
So I feel like I don't have the words, so I'm just gonna use the illustration. But no, really.
You are ridiculous. The king said. Okay?
So being totally serious. We talked about this previously. You and I kind of said that we thought like he would die, like basically like putting pen to paper, like doing something big. But in like classic Succession mode, like they know the right moments when to do shit, and the right moment was episode 4 into the last season.
Okay, yeah, but
like because I'm not gonna lie, I had to like sit with it, and I was like, all right, let's think about what happened before this. Like even before like Roman and Jerry, like a major merger was about to happen while they're attempting to buy another company, and Jerry, the one person who cleaned up the DOJ shit and the cruise shit, was just fired from the company. Then all of a sudden, Logan croaks. Perfect moment.
I'm sorry. Okay. Here's the craziest part, though. I have been saying since episode 1, and like you said, I think, and it's not a surprise. I'm not trying to act like I'm this big, genius or I'm clairvoyant or anything like that. All of the signs were there pointing to Logan probably dying, right? With his whole, this is how he's viewing life and like making a friend now and, whatever else. But there are 7 episodes left from me.
Yes.
I did not expect it to be now because now we have 7 episodes of a deceased Logan Roy. So he is gone. Like a major player is gone now. This is now legit Succession. Like this is it. We're going to see what happens now. This is it. Like I'm excited and I'm also kind of nervous in a good way.
Yeah. So to that, a comment and a question. For those that don't know, in the early drafts of Succession, Logan Roy actually wasn't supposed to make it out of season 1. So we're kind of getting the show that we were always going to get. And the question is, given that it was Resurrection Sunday, how far into the episode did you get before you realized the tomb wasn't going to be rolled back and Logan Roy was going to walk out? Because I'm not gonna lie, I was like, is he messing with them? But then like I saw those chest compressions, I was like, he is not messing with them.
I mean, and even past that for me, like it was one of those things where like you have to see it for yourself because they have made him so godlike.
Yeah, he's I
won't even say God. Like, yeah, it's more like what's the evil version of a deity? Are deities evil too? It can be evil, right?
Yeah. But
he's an evil deity.
When you die and people say, hey, we got to call the president and let him know.
Yeah. So they've put him like he's on this massive pedestal, right? He is this god of the entertain or news world, right? So I am fully expecting it to, first of all, like you said, I thought it was just a very cruel joke. I'm like, there's no way. Like, he's told Roman to go here. It's Connor's wedding. It's a whole bunch of stuff going on. They're just trying to gauge and see, or at least like make the kids have this whole what would it be like without him moment.
Mhm.
And like you said, I saw chest compressions and I'm like, whoa there. He might actually be dying. But I thought at that point, oh, he's already dead. Like he's dead, and
He's already dead.
they're just doing it. But then when they were like, well, they were kind of going back and forth. Well, they're doing chest compressions. Well, he is breathing. Well, he's not breathing. Well, I think he's breathing. Well, his heart stopped. And I'm like, wait a minute. I think he's really dead. Like this is not good, because I respect the show enough to know that it would kind of be cheesy to like have him, and sit up at the end. Cause I'm like, no, they've already been pointing to it. He's old. He doesn't take very good care of himself. He's already died once, and this is the final season. He's probably legitimately dead. So to answer your question, I felt like my logical mind felt like he was dead. I didn't accept it until the credits rolled. Well, I take that back. I didn't accept it until he came out in the body bag. That's when I was like, this is legit. He really died. Like he seriously died. Going to the bathroom.
Because
as Shub said, like Elvis.
Yeah, he died on the crapper. Yeah, but the crap of a lavatory of an airplane to make it worse. But I am filled with glee because of like the fictional analog of like who this person represents. Like I can't wait for that to happen in real life. But like it's still like kind of astonishing because like this is like single-handedly like one of the most powerful people in the world, and like you said, like even though he's like 84 years old, there's still almost like an invincibility. Like he literally beat death once, and that wasn't that long ago. So like for it to actually happen, there's still some shock there.
It wouldn't have been a surprise if he died, but they had him on some sort of machine for however long just to do whatever else. And we definitely got to get into that, because I want to know your take on the whole circle to the market closes thing, because yeah, shit. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Were their reactions what you expected them to be?
Yes.
All of them?
Because down to the letter, because these are people that have such a like chaotic and toxic like family tie that when something like real happens, like they don't know how to act, because like you could say like, because Roman was like, yeah man, call the best doctors in the world, let's throw money at it, he's not dead, that's not how this works. Kendall was kind of like, yo, fuck you, dad. And Shiv was like, oh no, what about me? How am I good? Daddy. Yeah. So all of the reactions were exactly how I thought. Now the interesting part, and I don't know if people picked up on that because it was like ever so subtle. The kids lost their superpowers just now. Because even when they were trying to boss around Carl and Frank, they were like, yeah, y'all don't got
even
it.
Carolina, she's just like, yeah.
Even Carolina was like, we're gonna do this, and you can either like do it or not do it, but we're gonna do it. So
get with it or get lost, in other words, because this is a thing that has to happen. On her though, not too much on her, but it's so odd to me that and I know that people have a job to do, so I don't want people to think that I am saying you are a bad person if that is your job. But the ability to kind of just turn off everything except business, that's like, I don't know. I don't know how you do it. Like, I'm watching the show. I don't even know this person. I don't even like him. But even I was having a moment like, dang, he is dead. Like,
but they're doing exactly what Logan would want them to do. Logan
exactly like this is what you're paid for. Yeah.
Right.
It's just weird.
Logan will hop out the casket and be like, why are you wasting time? Like, you're on the clock, get to work, get the deal done.
Get the deal done. I know, market's closing. Tom, okay. Shiv didn't answer the calls, right?
Mhm.
I think he called her at least 3 times
Yeah,
before he called
and
Roman.
that's actually why he was calling. But she thinks it was probably just
And it's odd to me because like it's of course easy to look back because we all know why
Mhm.
he was calling and say, oh man, well she should have known something was up because he's calling her back to back to back. But it's Tom. So it's like it's not that strange that he would be calling her, especially on the day of her brother's wedding. Like he would do something like that just to say, well, I called off the lawyers, or just to talk about something that has nothing to do with anything else, because that's just how he is. So it's easy, like I said, to say, well, she should have answered the phone because he kept calling. But then again, it's not strange for him to do something like that because of who he
all
is.
right.
But I do want to point out that she immediately said, well, why didn't you come and get me? And they were like, well, we did. She was
We
like, but
did.
I was right there. They were like, well, we came and got you. That's what we did.
We
We didn't
got
know it
you.
happened. And what were you gonna do?
All right.
I don't I don't know. It was a lot. I do think that it's true to form that he did this again on the day of his son's wedding, because it's
Right.
like Connor just can't, like the
Just
man
had to
can't
show
win
him
for
up, huh?
losing. He just had to do something, right? He had to do something. And it brought me back to, I think it was maybe his birthday party or something, and Connor was over refreshments and cake and all this stuff, and he was wilding out then, and he was being the same exact person he was at his wedding, talking about how the cake was
Mhm.
terrible. And of course we found out what loony cake is.
Yeah. Um. Once again, just, just, just.
Every day, didn't they say every day they gave it to him,
Mhm.
like every day for lunch or something? It's a lot. It's a
Terrible
lot.
human being.
He is an awful human being, and it just reiterates how the hierarchy kind of goes, because my thought is he looks at Connor as like the bastard, even though he was married to his mother,
Mhm.
wasn't he? Like he's not, but he looks at him like a bastard. But
Mhm.
he's a black sheep bastard, whatever else. He just looks at it like Kendall is his oldest son. And
Mhm.
if I'm not mistaken, they kind of went through that because Khan kept saying, I am the oldest when it
Yeah.
was about the bit. Yeah. So he
Yeah,
looks at
because
Kendall like his
Kendall was
oldest.
like, "Yeah, I'm the oldest," and then Connor like had to like put his hand on the table. He was like, "I am the oldest son."
Yeah. And then Roman is the other son, and then Shiv's the baby girl. So that's what makes Rome the whipping boy, which to me is sad because he's pretty much the middle child,
Mhm.
pretty much. And he's the second boy, so it's just like
Yeah.
there's nothing special about you. Well, actually, he's the third boy. Look at me. I'm not even thinking about Connor. He's a third boy, but in Logan's mind, you're the second boy. I already got a boy. You whatever. And she was my sweet little baby girl. So Roman was just there, and it's sad, and he feels horrible because for a second, it's like he thought that maybe he was the reason that his dad died. It's like, well, did he listen to his messages before or something like that? And I'm like,
Yeah, like he
are you?
instantly became like a little boy. Like, yeah.
Yeah, like, are you afraid that you may have killed him, or are you just sad that this was the last thing he would have heard from you before he died? Either way, this has nothing to do with you at this point. Your dad's dead. Like, focus. But I don't think they knew
Yeah,
how.
it's wild that the one time he like grew some nuts and said something to his dad didn't even hear
It means nothing. And I wanted to point out that he died, and a part of their hurt and pain
it.
is, one, they were helpless and they are not used to that. So, like you were
Yeah,
saying, they're trying
exactly.
to do all this stuff and they're trying to throw money. They don't know how to grieve properly because they don't know how to accept. No, they really don't. They don't know how to. And he died without them being able to impress him, which is what you were saying. That was their like whole purpose in life, to impress their dad. And they kind of did with the whole, the 10 billion, but I don't think he took that seriously. Like they would have had to actually do it for him to be like, all right, y'all got it. Because like we said, he was just like, congrats on saying the highest number. What's next? Well, okay, not even next. You said who was your MVP of this episode? Because you had a very great take about him.
I
The
mean,
person you respect now
it's Connor.
is Connor. And why?
Um, because it's going to be interesting watching him going forward because um he's now extremely rich. I mean, he was already rich, but he's now extremely rich. But I think he's the one that had like the realest like reaction to this. Everyone else, like they didn't know how to react, or they tried to act how they thought people would act when they're grieving. But he's the one that's just like he never liked me anyway. And then he was just like,
Y'all
so be it.
sad? Y'all
Yeah, he never
sad?
liked me anyway. And then he went off it. Then he was like, let's drink to the man, boom, and then went off and got married.
I
Like he
got
was just
something to
like,
do.
let's do it. Yeah.
But dang, I was gonna say you were right. And I can't remember what you were right about. It'll come back to me. But the whole thing with Connor, oh, that's what it was. He could be the president.
Uh-huh. Because in the weeks ahead, they show him gaining traction in other states.
But you said you called it. It didn't happen the way you said, but you did say that it was very possible that Logan could be the catalyst. And Logan is still the catalyst, just not the way we thought.
I didn't say how. No, I'm joking. I'm not gonna claim
Because
that.
now, I
But
mean, because you said it, but now he's got a whole lot of money, right? Like he got a
yeah,
lot of money.
he has like a because Logan was like pretty much cutting him off and he was living off like just the money he had on his
Residuals.
own, which isn't much. Yeah. But now he has like a major war chest, like back money into like put money into this campaign.
And keep in mind, wasn't much means wasn't much for, a billionaire.
Wasn't much
You still
for
have
like yeah,
still have plenty of money. But for
yeah,
not for them. Like it's him staying at
yeah.
the
A
Waldorf
few
Astoria, I
measly
guess, instead of
M's
the
is
Four
what he
Seasons.
had. Just a few measly M's.
Just a few. I can't
Only
throw
a
100
only
million at it like I used to.
only a few commas.
A few, just one or two. Shiv and Tom had a nice embrace, of course, but I think that's just grief and I am still your husband and all that stuff, whatever. Where do they go
But I
from
don't
here?
know. Did you see when she like pulled away though?
I peeped. I
Yeah,
peeped. She kind of gave
because
him
like she
that,
did, and then she realized, and then she was like, "Ew!" It's just like,
yeah, whatever. Does she know how to function without her daddy?
she
Do any
doesn't.
of them know how to function without their
And,
father?
and the most interesting part is like we're because Tom no longer has anyone to placate, so we're about to get like full on like cutthroat Tom, which is going to be so interesting to see because he too has a chance to be
Names
like
in the
top
hat.
dog. Uh-huh.
They're throwing his name in the hat. Or he is at least.
Like even more than like Shield, he has a better shot, which is wild to say.
Why were they so upset about the word estranged? Because it's legit.
That's what it is.
I mean, you were that is the perfect word for what you were at the moment. You were
Yeah.
estranged. And yes, y'all did just have a talk the other day, but it was pretty much reiterating the fact that you're estranged. Like, I don't know why they were so mad. I guess grief does a weird thing, and it's like my dad died, and now you're trying to act like he wasn't my dad. But I mean, the truth is the truth, right?
Yeah, because if he was still alive, it would be like we want nothing to do with him. So
I mean, was he even gonna? He had no plans to come to the wedding, right? Like at
no,
this point, we just
no,
he wasn't coming.
no.
Okay, and that's what the kids were trying to kind of like figure out a way to tell Connor he wasn't coming, and that's what
Mhm.
Shiv was going off to do. Okay, so I mean, it's in his defense, just like you said, Connor had the reaction that he was supposed to, and I know a lot of people would say, "Well, that's messed up. That's still his dad," and blah 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 blah, because we've been conditioned to think that family is always going to have each other's back, but that's not how it works. Sometimes they really just don't like you, and you need to be like, okay, treat him like everybody else. And that's what's happening. He's just gonna get a whole lot of money out of it too.
Mhm.
He might end up being the president. Oh my gosh, he can't be the president. He can, but he can't be the president. He could. He could. Could. But even if he's not the president, does he get enough momentum to make sure other dudes not the president though? Are they the same
He
party?
does, because also looking at week ahead, I think his name is Mekin or whatever, but there's a part where like someone comes to him and they're like, yeah, Mekin like is asking you to drop out of the race.
And why would he need to drop out the race if it's not a big deal?
Exactly.
What's gonna happen now? Like now that we know, okay, Logan died, and it's like, oh, let's talk about Jerry right quick. Because I feel like she's gonna be on some woman, like on her woman scorn, and rightfully so. Although I want to say we did say that he was acting kind of stank with her. So I'm not surprised. I am surprised he fired her. Like that was shocking that he was gonna fire her. But they never officially did it, right?
Yo, they never officially did it, but I mean, it wasn't official, but the act is still there. So now she,
But I'm saying the act is there, but she's still
but no,
employed though, right?
yeah, no, I'm that's what I'm saying. I'm tying this to your like woman scoring comment because she's gonna raise hell now.
And wouldn't you though? Like she has been, if nothing else, I would think she's probably been one of the most loyal of all of them. Like even when Roman was on his knees begging her to help, she was like, "How does this? What she say? How does this benefit me, or
Right.
my bottom line, or something like that?" So she's always been who she's employed to be, which is she's a lawyer, right? Or what is she? Is she his lawyer? What is Jerry?
I feel like she is part of the legal counsel. Yeah,
She's something. She's counsel. We'll say that.
Which is why would you want to fire her of all people?
He's like, really mad, and I think Logan was under the impression that she had already moved on to being counsel for Lucas. Lucas, yeah, it is Lucas, right?
He was just being petty,
a dick.
Honestly.
A dick, and he died. He died the way he lived, which I mean, respect, but you die, and people are going to pretend like they're sad, and his kids might actually be sad because they think they're supposed to be. But are people really upset other than maybe Carrie?
She's not upset.
Kinda.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
She is delighted.
Well, I mean, what is she going to get out of it now? You think he had to set up some kind of way?
I'm pretty sure she finagled her way into that living will.
You think so? I mean, he's still married.
Okay.
She just in Milan shopping forever.
I feel like
I guess you can put whoever you want in your will, though, right? I guess.
Yeah.
I guess she probably did talk her way. So she talked her way on air, and she's horrible. So I wouldn't be surprised. She probably got some very persuasive tactics.
she got that killer. But I'm glad we could shift her out the way because she was a character that like annoyed the hell out of me. But I want to.
Bang.
Yeah, it's the bang. I want to bring it back around to the kids because much like me saying like this is the show that this is about to become the show that we were always supposed to get. The kids are about to be back on that bullshit because there's a little part in looking ahead where they're like, we can let the board be the CEO, or what Shiv is saying that, or it could be one of us. So they're gonna go right back to it.
Back to exactly where it was. You had to pick one of them to be the CEO. Who would you pick? You got to. It's got to be one of them, or the company dissolves. Who would you pick?
I have to.
You have to. You pick one of them, or the company dissolves. Who do you pick? And it's got to be. Don't say a shell of this person led by it. No, you have to pick one of them, or the company dissolves. Which one do you pick? Siobhan, Kendall, or Romulus? Can't even say Connor.
If you have to twist my arm, Kendall.
Mm-hmm. Kendall, and it's bad, but I thought the same thing because Shiv just makes she makes horrible decisions.
Yeah.
Rome, I mean, come on. Like Rome just No. Kendall probably has the best business acumen, which is pathetic because he is also terrible. And I feel like at some point, Sandy and Stewie are going to end up taking over the company if Kendall's in charge. But the best chance they have, I think, is Kendall. If I had to pick, had to, like you said, twist my arm.
Because
Just to
early,
have Frank.
yeah. I was about to say early prediction of like who sits on the Iron Throne. Like, I feel like they're about to. I'm not gonna say have their fortune stripped away, because even if like but I feel like they're about to completely lose their identity. And the point of this is like they're gonna have to figure out how to be a family without the other shit.
You think they choose to still be a family?
It's not gonna be a choosing, because remember they upped the price on the Pierce thing to 10 million, and then you still have Gojo trying to like buy this, and then like the interaction with like Sandy and Stewie before this. So I'm not saying they're gonna be left with nothing, because they're still gonna get money out of this. But I think the thing that made them once again like superheroes in this world, like they're about to be without that, and they're gonna have to figure out how to be a family without that. So it's almost like when you had this, you thought you were one thing. Now you have nothing, heavy air quotes for the listeners. So what are you now?
Nothing. I mean, oh gosh, that sounds so harsh, but who are they without him?
Exactly.
Because even in trying to prove with the three of them, even in trying to prove who they are, they still had him, because that was they proved that when he took the jet. So now what are you gonna do?
Right.
Like, who are you without Logan? Oh my gosh. Does the company stock plummet?
Oh yeah, it dropped already. Did you see?
It has? Okay.
When Roman like his phone, and it was like it was like a slope, it was like a line just going like straight down. Yeah, it plummeted. Yeah.
This is going to be, I mean, there are 7 full episodes left, and Roman's already dead. It's brave, I think. I think it's brave. I think it's brave that they went ahead to kill Logan off, because they were playing with it heavy, so it wasn't a secret. And the fact that they did it and just went ahead and did it is like, now not just the kids, the show has to go on without him. So that's going to be interesting too, because I mean, Brian, Brian, miss them fuck offs. I will miss them. I'll miss them very much. Although they were rude every single time, I will miss it. I will. I'm very interested to see how it's going to be without him. I am, because I just don't know. I don't. Do I want to watch a show with just the kids? Yes, I'm going to. They gotta make it just as interesting, right?
Yeah. So the first part of this season was like very tragic, and now it's going to be like almost. And I don't mean this is in a bad way, but it's going to be very painful to watch, because now you're going to see them. Because at first, like, they had the reason they were tearing each other apart is because they had like that common bond of like trying to impress dad. Dad's gone. So now they're gonna tear each other apart, but the gloves are gonna be off. And it's gonna be, I feel like it's going to be really painful to watch.
So now, instead of impress dad, they're trying to be him.
Yeah, they're trying to now like this is truly Succession. Instead of trying to like just sit in the chair and spin around, they really want the chair now.
They want to be in it. I mean, I will say Kendall's the one that had the balls, forever ago, to actually step in and try to do it while he was still there. And then, it resulted in Logan firing 1,000 people, but he did it. So that's another reason why I would say Kendall would probably be the one, that sits on the throne at the end. I don't think he'll be successful though. That's the thing.
No. Because none of them got it. Like, I'll say that.
Didn't he kind of say that though? Like, didn't Logan kind of say that? Like, y'all don't, you've been here all this time and you don't have it, pretty much. Like,
Yeah, I mean, almost to the point where like he was about to impregnate Carrie so he could create another child that would be worthy of taking over. Like this kid hasn't even been conceived yet. And he's like, this kid is more worthy than y'all, and it hasn't even entered the world yet.
give me an heir. What if she is pregnant? Like, she could be.
Yeah.
Could be. I mean, it's not gonna matter because the child, like what's the baby gonna do? But still, that would be another however many millions of dollars that they don't have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, left the whole company to the child. You're better than these morons.
I can't wait to see where it goes because, like I said, this was such a ballsy move to do,
And I will
and they
say,
did it.
they did it, and the actors did it too. They did a
Mhm.
phenomenal job. The
Mhm.
actors, they
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think nobody dropped the ball, and of course, the focus was on the main three, the kids. But you had Tom, you had Greg. Greg is the reason it leaked, right?
Of course, of
Did
course.
Tom tell him to leak it? Low key, it felt like Tom was
Hmm.
telling him to leak it a little bit because
I wonder that.
he was like, this doesn't need to get out, but if it does, they need to know that I was here
Mhm.
if it gets out. And I'm like, are you telling him to leak it? It felt like he was telling him to leak it.
Yeah.
I think he did. I mean, that's how I took it. And I feel like if you tell Greg, then you're begging for it to get out anyway. Because I mean, it's Greg. That's all he
Yeah.
does. So yeah, okay. Well, we shall see what is to come. I'm going to be. I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna be. I think I'm still like getting over this episode because most of it was Logan died, but like it's so much that happened in the silence and in the pandemonium, like with the
Mm.
kids. Like they weren't raging or going crazy, but in their own way they were, because they just didn't know what to do. Like they were almost acting like the phone was infected, and I don't know what to do here. You do it. I don't know what to say. Like put me back by his ear. Did I tell him I loved him? I think so. And I'm like, hey, this is very
Hey,
bizarre behavior.
his elevator has gone down. He cannot.
Yeah, he's done. That is it's a very terrible.
I'm sorry.
Prince said, we're not gonna let the elevator take us down.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Before we close out,
unfortunately.
though, I have a bit of a hot take to drop.
Uh-oh.
This episode was fantastic. The acting, the writing, just overall fantastic. Yet, we need not be hyperbolic and say it's one of the greatest episodes of TV of all time, because this episode is contingent upon like several things. It's like the culmination of several things, and in fact, it's almost like a companion piece to the episode that preceded it. Whereas, like, I think when we truly do think of like some of the greatest TV episodes of all time, like it's almost like you could pluck those out and you could say like for instance, if you told someone to watch this episode and they've never seen Succession, yeah. Whereas if you tell someone to watch Ozymandias or like Crawl Space from Breaking Bad and you pull those out, they'd be like, oh shit, I need more of this. So while it is like a good episode, excuse me, a great episode, is only great within the context of Succession. And in my opinion, like Succession's best episode is still like in season one, in my opinion. Like if I had to choose one.
Which one?
Like
I was
it's
thinking
like,
Ship's Wedding.
well, yeah, She Was Wedding was good too, but the one that comes to mind for me, and this might just be like anecdotal because it's when it started to click for me. When Kendall was in the streets running to the board meeting, and when he got there, Logan was like, "Son, you lost. It's over. You lost." Like that's why I was like, "I bet." But yeah, it's a great episode. But let's chill with like greatest episode of all time because I'm not feeling that. So I just wanted to
Let
say
these
that.
people have their moment. It's recency bias, and I know that's what it is because, like you said, after a while, if you look back on it, it's probably you can say that maybe this was all of their best performance without saying this was the best episode. And I think
Right,
that's what it
right.
is. Yeah. Because
Mhm.
as far as performances goes, this showed I don't know. I mean, I guess because it's like it's not easy for me to pretend that I'm sad,
Mhm.
but looking at them, you would think that their father actually died. And I know that's
Right.
easy for Kendall because he stays in character or whatnot. But I'm sure Brian was like, I'm glad that I'm dead. Y'all can leave me
Yeah.
alone now. Well, sorry, I'm glad that Logan is dead. Y'all can
Mhm.
leave me alone now. Good luck with the rest of the show. Have at it. Fuck off. He probably died saying that. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Okay. So Ronnie doesn't think it was the best episode, people. Take that up with him. Run Quixote _
Too bad that's not it. But I didn't say that. I just said it's not the greatest.
Ronald
It's not the
Quixote
greatest.
_
It's not the greatest of all time. That's all I said. Like I feel like we're being hyperbolic in that regard. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I don't disagree because I still
Yeah.
think, of course, there are better episodes than
Yeah,
this
like
one
within
because
like the series, there are better episodes that could
yeah,
be. Yeah.
the greatest of the show,
Right.
especially with what five. This is the fifth season. This is
Oh.
the fifth or fourth. Oh my goodness! So with 4 seasons, yeah, well, three
Mhm.
seasons and 3 episodes. There are better
Mhm.
episodes in the first 3 seasons than this one. But as far as the story, but as far as acting, I still think this one was top notch.
But yeah, we will close
That's it.
here. We have a lot of ground to cover. Can't
Yeah,
wait.
we do.
But yeah, until next time.
Peace.